I talked to hundreds of roofing business owners about what's stopping them from selling more jobs, and a bunch of them have mentioned their brand. Hi, my name is James Gillespie, and I'm the VP of Growth here at ProLine, and today we're going to talk about how to create a winning roofing brand in 2026. Most people hear that and they think, oh, he's talking about new colors, new logo, yada, yada, yada. That's actually not true at all. Most roofing businesses need a system for building associations in homeowners' minds that help them predict what working with them will feel like. Because once those associations get built, selling jobs goes from feeling like you're rolling the boulder up the hill to now just pushing it down. In doing so, you get way more respect from homeowners and your community, and then you can make more money while working less. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what a brand really is, explain 5 decisions that build a brand homeowners trust, and I'll show you a real roofing company that made these calls and what happened when they did. Let's start with what a brand is not. So before we talk about what a brand is, we need to kill a few ideas that are holding you back. Most roofers land in one of the 3 places when you ask them about brand. You probably said one of these 3 yourself. My brand is my logo. What I want you to do is picture 2 roofing companies, same colors, same font, same little roof icon in the corner. But company A's crews show up late, leave nails in the driveway, and ghost the homeowner the second the check clears. Company B has tight operations, clean job sites, answers the phones, and customers who send referrals without even being asked. Same logo, completely different brand. A logo is just a flag. It doesn't really mean anything until the experience behind it gives it meaning. All right, second one here, my brand is my reputation. Okay, closer, but still not quite. A roofer can have 200 5-star reviews and still be invisible. Every job, when that happens, feels a little bit different. Nobody recognizes the trucks. There's no through line that ties it all together. And your lack of reviews are a symptom of your brand. You really can't build something by managing symptoms. Third one, my brand is the customer experience. And now we're getting somewhere, but still, a roofer can run clean jobs for 10 years straight and still be completely invisible in his own market. Even when your production is excellent, you can still be invisible in your market. It won't generate you referrals. It won't close you deals on your name alone. So what actually is a brand? Let's talk about the definition that survives. Mosey put it like this: your brand is the intentional pairing of your product with an outcome that customers want. A brand is a prediction. Every single touch point makes a promise about what working with you will feel like before the homeowner even has ever met you. Your name, your truck pulling into the driveway, whether your guy's shirt is tucked in, whether he's got a name tag on, whether he looks like he's got his act together or he just rolled out of bed. All of it is building associations before a single word gets said. And homeowners use those associations to make predictions about what working with you will feel like. But here's the thing homeowners can't do. They cannot evaluate your work quality before they hire you. They've never seen you on a roof. They don't know a solid install from a bad one. So they use your brand as a proxy. It signals what they're about to get. So I want to show you something. There are 4 places your brand can land, and every roofing company sits somewhere on this grid, whether they choose it or not. Top right, high price, high quality. Premium positioning. These homeowners expect to pay more and they expect to get more in return. And every touch point has to back that up. The truck, the quote, how your rep represents himself at the door, and the handoff process after the job. If any of those slip, a single one, they feel ripped off before you've even touched their roof. Bottom right, low price, high quality. Value positioning, a volume play. Best deal in town. It can work, but it's hard to scale and easy to get stuck in. Top left, high price, low quality. The scam zone. Slick truck wrap, takes the deposit, disappears. This is why the homeowners are nervous about calling roofers in the first place. A strong brand isn't just about building an identity, it's about putting distance between you and the guys who burned everyone else. Bottom left, low price, low quality. Busy every week and still broke, and nobody wins here. This is what happens when you discount $6,000 off of a job the moment a homeowner pushes back. You trained them to push back. That comes from your brand too. So their brand sends mixed messages. Nice website, Word doc, quote, fancy truck wrap, crew and random t-shirts. Homeowner doesn't know what to expect, so they default to price. And you end up racing to the bottom without even meaning to. So pick a quadrant, signal it at every touch point. That's the whole game. Now, I want to be specific because knowing this stuff is one thing, actually building it is another. I boiled it down to 5 decisions. If you get these right, you've got a brand. If you miss them, you've got a logo. Next, we're going to talk about brand decisions. Decision number 1, study your competitors, then choose how you'll look and feel different. Now, before you pick a name, a logo, or a color, go look at every roofing brand in your market. Not a quick scroll, a real audit. Pull up their websites, drive around, and look at all their trucks. Screenshot their Facebook pages, write down the names, their colors, their taglines, what the crews wear, what their yard signs look like. You're looking for the pattern, and there will be a pattern. Red, black, gray, generic roof icons, names that all follow the same formula, 5-star reviews that sound identical, a market full of companies that look like they were built from the same template. Now, you know what not to do. The reason people typically skip this step is that the herd feels safe. If 10 guys in your market are all running red trucks with roof icons, it must be working, right? It's really not working. It's just what everyone else did because nobody stopped to think about it. The herd is invisible. Standing next to 10 guys that all look the same does not make you a contender. It makes you noise. So here's the decision. You can look like everyone else and compete purely on price because nothing else sets you apart, or you can figure out exactly what the herd looks like and then go the other direction so you're the only one who looks like you. You can only pick one. Decision 2, choose a name people actually remember. Your name is the first brand touch point a homeowner hits. Before the truck, before the quote, before the crew, they Google something, your name comes up. And about a half a second, they've already formed an opinion. Most roofing company names fail this test completely. City name, roofing. Reliable roofing. Quality roofing. ABC roofing. These names are forgotten before the tab closes. And a quick note on ABC roofing, people only name their roofing companies or local service companies with the beginning letters of the alphabet because in the yellow pages, that's where you came up first. However, these names are forgotten before the tab closes. They signal damn near nothing. They differentiate nothing. They do zero selling work. A good name does one of 2 things. It signals a benefit. Rain stoppers tell you exactly what they do and why it matters. And it makes them genuinely memorable. Yeti roofing sticks in your head because nothing else in the category sounds like it. But either way, the name is working before anyone picks up the phone. A few things worth noting here. Keeping roofing in the name helps with search and with clarity. Homeowners know immediately what you do. But you can keep roofing and still ditch the formula. Rain stoppers roofing, steadfast roofing, Yeti roofing, all of these kept roofing. None of them sound like everybody else. A common question we hear is, should I just name my business after myself? After all, it builds real local trust, and that matters. But it ties you permanently to the business. Your name, your face, your likeness. Expanding in new markets gets harder when the name is a person. And when it's time to sell, buyers, PE, roll-ups, M&A, franchises, etc., do not want a name that walks out the door with the owner. So why don't people choose a better name? It's because they name the business fast. Under pressure, trying to get started, nobody thinks it'll matter. Then, 10 years later, they're stuck with the name they hate, and changing it means starting over on every bit of brand recognition they built. If you're just starting out, this is the easiest decision you'll ever make. If you've been around for years, it's harder, but worth thinking about anyway. Decision 3, choose a logo that makes a name pop. Your logo shows up everywhere. Trucks, shirts, yard signs, quotes, website, every single touch point your brand hits, your logo is there. Which means that when you have a bad logo, it's doing damage everywhere, all the time at scale. Most roofing logos are the same logo. A triangle with a line through it, a house silhouette, a little roof shape in a circle. Generic enough that you could swap it between companies and nobody would be the wiser. And that's the problem. A logo that could belong to anyone belongs to no one. A logo that works creates actual identity. When you see mascots, they're extremely memorable. Something with personality that people actually respond to. Word marks can work if the typography is distinctive and intentional. Monograms work when they're clean and they own a specific look. Any of these beats a clip art roof. The other thing that people miss is that your logo needs to work at every size. On a business card, on the side of a truck, on a yard sign from 50 feet away. If it falls apart at small sizes or loses its shape from distance, it's not doing its job. Again, here's a dumb question. Why don't people invest in a real logo? Well, because Fiverr exists. Because ChatGPT exists. A logo for $50 feels like a win when you're bootstrapping, but it isn't a win. You'll redo it. The $50 logo costs you twice. Once when you buy it and again when you replace it after realizing it's been making your brand look cheap for 3 years. So here's the decision. You can get a cheap logo and hope nobody notices, or you can treat it like the one thing that represents your company everywhere it goes and invest accordingly. A real logo from a real designer only costs a few hundred to a few $1,000s depending on who you hire. For something that lives on every truck, every shirt, every quote you send, that's not expensive. It's actually the cheapest marketing you'll ever do. Decision 4. Choose colors that actually stand out. Color is the fastest brand signal there is. It's faster than your name, faster than your logo. Before somebody reads anything, before they process what your truck says, they see the color. And in most roofing markets, color is completely wasted. Go back to that competitor audit from decision 1. Count the colors. You'll find the same 3 or 4 showing up over and over. Red, black, gray, dark blue. Every company in the market defaulted to the same palette because it feels professional or because they just liked it personally. The thing is, now nobody stands out. Your trucks need to be identifiable from the end of the street. Your yard signs need to pop against the lawn. Your shirts need to make your crew look like a unified team rather than a group of guys who all shop at the same hardware store. Color does all of that, but only if you choose it intentionally. And the process is simple. Find out what colors your competitors are using, then avoid them like the plague. Not slightly different shades of the same colors. Actually avoid them. If everyone's running red and black, you run something else entirely. Bright green, deep orange, a two-tone that nobody else in the market is touching. Something that makes someone driving past your job site say, "Who the heck is that?" And again, why don't people do this? Same reason as the name. They pick colors they like or went with what felt safe. And now changing them would mean repainting the trucks and replacing uniforms and redoing all the materials. It's expensive, but staying invisible is more expensive. Every single day that your trucks look like everybody else's is a day your brand isn't doing the work it could be doing. So here's the decision. Keep running the same colors everyone else in your market is and blend into the background, or you can do a competitor audit, find the gap, and own a color that makes you impossible to miss. One is comfortable, the other builds a brand. Decision 5, choose where your brand shows up. A brand that lives in the homeowner's head does not exist. It has to be visible on the truck, on the crew, on the quote, on the yard sign, at the community events that your customers actually attend. Most companies get the obvious stuff halfway right. The truck gets wrapped, but the crew wears random shirts. The website looks good, but the quote is in a Word doc. The yard signs go up, but the guys at the door look like they work for a completely different company doing a different job. This is what I would call mixed signals. The homeowner doesn't know what to expect, so they default to price. Every touch point is a chance to reinforce the prediction that your brand is making. The quote that looks like a professional document instead of something thrown together in 20 minutes. The crew that shows up in matching shirts with the logo on the chest. The truck that makes a neighbor pull out their phone. The yard sign that gets recognized 3 streets over because the colors are impossible to miss. And then there's a community layer that most roofers completely ignore. Your best customers are somewhere before they need a roof. They're at the high school football game on a Friday night. They're at the local coffee shop on a Saturday morning. They're at the farmer's market. They're at the bar watching the game. Your brand can be in all of those places before a homeowner ever has a roof problem, so that when they do, your name is already familiar. Sponsor the Little League team. Put your name on the scoreboard. Show up at the home show and give something away. Be the company that people recognize from around town, not just the one that showed up after the storm. But again, dumb question from this guy with 2 thumbs, why don't more people do this? The answer is because it costs more money up front and the ROI doesn't show up on a spreadsheet the next day. And the brand never gets off the ground because nobody made the actual decision to invest in it. So here's the decision. You can let your brand live wherever it happens to land, hope the work speaks for itself, and keep competing on price because nothing else is creating recognition. Or you can put your brand everywhere your customers are, on the job site, on the truck, on the quotes, in the community, and let it do selling work around the clock without you having to be there. One is cheaper today, the other is cheaper forever. All right, so let's break this down. Yeti Roofing, a ProLine case study. Nate Schwepp ran a roofing company called Pro Exteriors and Construction for about 10 years. Good work, solid reputation, the kind of name that could have belonged to any company doing anything in any city in America. And after this time in business, a guy by the name of Dimitri sat him down and told him the truth.
Nate, your name sucks.
That was the moment. You might not know this, but Nate loves Bigfoot. That passion became Yeti Roofing. Not a committee decision, not a brand agency, not a focus group, just a guy leaning into something real. And here's how he describes competing in his market now. If homeowners are talking to 5 different roofing companies, and it's Yeti Roofing versus Joe's Roofing or City Name Roofing, who are they going to remember? The unique one. That's the whole thing. One rebrand, one decision to stop blending in, and now the name alone is doing selling work before Nate or his team ever shows up. So here's where most roofing companies are sitting right now. Busy, broke, forgettable. They have a logo, they don't have a brand. They obsess over truck wraps while their job sites feel chaotic. They hand over Word doc quotes with no identity behind them. They discount their price the moment a homeowner farts because they haven't given anyone a reason to say yes at full price. The companies on the other side of that made a decision about what they're promising, about what they're charging, and about how every single touch point signals that promise. Their brand is working while they sleep. So pick your quadrant, build your name, put it on everything. Keep the promise. And if you want to see how ProLine helps roofing companies look and communicate like a real brand at every single touch point, click the link below and book a demo. Peace.